Breaking news, a federal judge in New York dismisses Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against Blake Lively.
Breaking news this hour, this time in the legal saga between actors Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a breaking news update.
A judge dismissing Justin Baldoni's $400 million countersuit against his former It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively.
Breaking news, Justin Baldoni has seemingly lost his legal war with Blake Lively.
So here's the thing. Justin Baldoni just lost. Big time. A federal judge in New York completely destroyed his $400 million revenge lawsuit against Blake Lively, and the legal reasoning behind this decision is absolutely savage. Judge Lewis Liman didn't just dismiss parts of the case, he threw out the entire thing with prejudice, meaning Justin can never refile these claims. But here's what's really shocking. The way Blake's team outsmarted Justin's lawyers using a legal loophole most people have never heard of, and why this decision might actually end Justin's career for good.
Today's opinion is a total victory and a complete vindication for Blake Lively, along with those that Justin Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties dragged into their retaliatory lawsuit.
Judge Lewis Liman absolutely demolished Justin's case in his ruling yesterday, and the legal reasoning goes deep into constitutional law. The $400 million defamation lawsuit that Justin filed against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, their publicist, Leslie Sloan, and the New York Times, gone, completely dismissed. But here's the brutal part. The judge ruled that even if every single allegation Justin made was true, he still wouldn't have a valid defamation case. This means the judge looked at Justin's best possible scenario and said it still wasn't enough to meet the legal standard for defamation. The judge found that Justin failed to prove actual malice, which is the incredibly high standard established by the Supreme Court for defamation cases involving public figures. Justin had to prove that Blake and her team knew their allegations were false and published them anyway with malicious intent, and the evidence simply wasn't there.
Based on the facts presented, Ryan and the publicist thought they were true based on the information available to them, so the defamation part got thrown out.
Here's where Blake's lawyers pulled off a genius move that most people missed. When Blake first filed her workplace harassment complaint with the California Civil Rights Department in December, it wasn't just seeking justice, it was strategic, legal warfare that created an impenetrable shield around her statements. Under something called litigation privilege, anything you say in official legal proceedings is protected from defamation lawsuits, even if it turns out to be wrong. This protection exists because our legal system recognizes that people need to speak freely in court proceedings without fear of retaliation lawsuits. So, when the New York Times published their explosive article about Blake's allegations, they weren't just reporting gossip, they were covering official legal documents filed with a government agency. Blake's lawyers timed everything perfectly, filing the official complaint first, then coordinating with the Times to publish their investigation. This created a legal fortress that made Justin's counterattack virtually impossible.
No, if anything, it's just all pluses for Lively because they prevailed on a motion that almost never wins. And this is a big win for the Lively team.
The New York Times also scored a major victory with huge implications for journalism. Judge Liman ruled that the Times was protected under fair report privilege, which allows media outlets to report on legal proceedings without facing defamation lawsuits. The judge found that the Times simply reported what they believed happened based on available evidence, conducting thorough journalism that included reviewing documents and fact-checking their story. Most importantly, the judge ruled that the Times had no obvious motive to favor Blake's version of events over Justin's, which destroys Justin's conspiracy theory that the newspaper was part of some coordinated attack.
The alleged facts indicate the Times reviewed the available evidence and reported, perhaps in a dramatized manner, what it believed to have happened. The Times had no obvious motive to favor Lively's version of events. The judge threw that out as well.
Even though Justin's lawyers argued that the Times cherry-picked evidence to make him look bad, the judge said the reporting was fair and based on the underlying legal complaint. This ruling is massive because it means journalists can continue covering workplace harassment allegations without fear of being sued into bankruptcy by powerful defendants. Justin's case got even weaker when a key witness completely destroyed his credibility. Remember Daily Mail reporter James Vituska, whose text messages were supposedly proof that Blake's publicist Leslie Sloan was spreading lies? Well, Vituska just filed a sworn declaration basically saying Justin's lawyers completely misrepresented his communications. He admitted that when he texted about Blake being harmed, it was his own mistake and poor word choice, not based on anything Leslie Sloan actually told him. Vituska swore under oath that Sloan never used inflammatory language and that Justin's legal team never bothered to ask him what he actually meant before using his text as evidence in their $400 million lawsuit. This is the kind of sloppy legal work that destroys cases and raises serious questions about what other evidence in Justin's lawsuit was taken out of context or misrepresented. Sources close to Blake say she had an intensely emotional reaction when she learned about the dismissal.
While the suit against me was defeated, so many don't have the resources to fight back. I'm more resolved than ever to continue to stand for every woman's right to have a voice in protecting themselves.
According to People magazine, Blake cried with relief when her lawyers called with the news on Monday morning, and the emotional release was overwhelming after months of being under siege. One insider said she felt completely vindicated after being attacked in the media and having her reputation dragged through the mud. Blake has been attending events and putting on a brave face, but people close to her say the legal pressure has been enormous, affecting her family life and ability to focus on work projects. Ryan Reynolds praised her strength throughout this ordeal, saying he's never met someone who could handle this kind of public scrutiny with such grace. The emotional toll of being sued for $400 million while pursuing your own harassment case must have been absolutely crushing, especially with 4 young children to protect from the media circus. Justin isn't completely out of options, but his remaining legal moves are pretty weak. He has until June 23rd to file amended claims related to contract interference, which are basically business disputes rather than the explosive defamation allegations that made headlines.
Right, and so in the realm of legal proceedings, they have plenty of time to settle if they want to, but she just may not want to.
These contract claims are much harder to prove and carry way less financial impact than the original $400 million demand that just got destroyed. Legal experts say these types of claims rarely succeed in celebrity disputes because judges don't want to get involved in Hollywood business drama unless there's clear evidence of deliberate sabotage. The problem is, if Blake's harassment allegations are true, then companies distancing themselves from Justin would be completely justified business decisions, not wrongful interference. Justin's team will probably file something just to keep leverage, but it's going to be an uphill battle with much lower stakes.
So do you see this going to trial?
She wants to be vindicated and that her reputation has been tarnished in some way. So it might be for her that taking this to trial is worth it.
Blake's legal team isn't done fighting. They're going for blood now. Her lawyers announced they're seeking attorney fees, treble damages, and punitive damages against Justin and his production company for what they're calling abusive litigation. This means Blake could end up getting paid by Justin for defending herself against his frivolous lawsuit. They're arguing that Justin's case was so baseless and malicious that he should be financially punished for filing it in the first place. If Blake wins this motion, it could cost Justin millions more in legal fees and penalties on top of his own astronomical legal costs. Her lawyers called the original lawsuit a sham and said the court saw right through it. They're also hinting at going after Justin's lawyers personally for sanctions, which could damage the reputation of his high-powered legal team. This isn't just about money, it's about sending a message that filing retaliatory lawsuits against harassment victims will have serious financial consequences. So, what does this all mean for the bigger picture? Justin Baldoni's reputation and career appear to be completely finished in Hollywood. He went from being celebrated as a male feminist to being seen as exactly the kind of person he claimed to oppose. Losing a $400 million lawsuit this badly doesn't just make you look wrong. It makes you look incompetent, vindictive, and dangerous to work with. No studio wants to hire someone who might harass their talent and then sue them for $400 million when they complain about it. Blake, meanwhile, has emerged as the clear winner, with her harassment case against Justin still moving forward toward a March 2026 trial where even more damaging evidence could come out. The dismissal sends a powerful message to other powerful men in Hollywood that filing massive countersuits against harassment accusers isn't a guaranteed intimidation tactic anymore. Courts are getting smarter about recognizing retaliation lawsuits, and the legal protections for people reporting misconduct are stronger than many realize. This case could encourage more victims to speak up, knowing that their official complaints will be legally protected even if they face counterattacks. The entertainment industry just watched a masterclass in how to fight back against litigation, intimidation, and it's going to change how these battles are fought going forward. For anyone who's ever been afraid to report workplace harassment because they feared retaliation, this ruling shows that the legal system can work to protect victims who have the courage to speak up. So there you have it. Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively has been completely obliterated by a federal judge, and the fallout is just getting started. The ripple effects of this ruling are going to change how Hollywood handles these situations for years to come. What do you think about this ruling? Was justice served, or do you think the judge got it wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to stay updated on all the latest celebrity legal drama, hit that like button and subscribe. We cover all the biggest entertainment lawsuits with the same in-depth analysis. So ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.